Welcome to Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Oh, for Agat, Guam. Here that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map. Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Clap, clap. Leaning close, let the real talk run. Hagot nya tutumon, everybody has one. No wish on this ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy, sing it unfiltered. Guam source for true seeker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo, Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya tutumon, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam unfiltered. Everybody now, one filtered. White ladies breach when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gadao and Matapang strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa Hour, Guam.
A few moments later.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Each story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to beautiful Ipan Telefofo at the greatest beach bar in the world, Jeff's Pirates Cove. I'm your host, Jeff, and I'm here with Bistra and Charlie and the Doc and Amber Bach and Pete and Pat and some other great people. So this is episode 33, season 2, right? Second season. Bistra was on Saturday yesterday and we had a great show with her. Really enjoyed it a lot, you know, it was great. So we welcome you all to write to us on Facebook or wherever you're at. Ask us your questions. If you want to come on the show sometime, we would love to have you here. Right now, we're majoring in the political arena, trying to talk to all the people running for office. We want everybody that isn't registered to vote. No, we want you to register to vote and then vote, okay? Especially the military. You know, we would like to see you take part in our election process because your taxes are staying right here on Guam, whether you know it or not, and you're living under the same terrible conditions we are with the roads and different things of Guam life provided by the government. So all you military, register to vote, please, and take part in our process. Now, Amber, show us what you got today. This is gift shop items.
We have Don Farrell's books. We have
He has 3 books here, okay?
CBs and Superfords, and Guam, A Brief History.
We have all of these books available, and I told you Don fell down. I told him always try to fall up, but he fell down. And he's over there in Tinian, kind of trapped for a little bit, can't fly, and we're waiting for him to come over. But we have his books available. He should be here in March for the Iwo Jima flight, and he'll be signing books there.
We have our skull caps. We have 5 different colors. We also have baseball caps and some more hats.
These are embroidered hats. They're quality. They're from Dorfman Pacific and Stetson. Good stuff.
We have our new pirate flag hoodie.
Now, these are done in North Carolina by the greatest pirate shirt maker guy, Grassini. This is one that I worked on with him. On these zipper shirts, we have to put the logo on the crest. Usually I put every logo right in the middle, hoping they won't miss.
We have our dry fit tank tops for men.
These are from Hialeah, Florida. These are kind of a different fit. I got a few of these myself, and it's a very nice, quick dry material.
We have kids tie-dye t-shirts.
Now, if your kids don't have a Pirates Cove shirt, they're in trouble, you know? They need these, right? Every child should have one of these, especially the tie-dye. And we have different logos, and we have different designs for you.
You'll never lose them.
And we have our women's tank tops.
These are new. These are special design for the woman tank top, and they're super cool.
And we have our hot sauce. We have 6 different flavors.
And you got some on sale.
Yes, some on sale for 50% off.
And what did Doc do with the Mo Gold? There it is.
I used it in my honey tea.
Mo Gold honey, always the best honey. Comes right here from the Chains of Love in Ipan Telefofo, and you've got to try this. We have some in stock. It's always limited. We're planning to harvest, but the weather's been so bad that Chris is holding me off till it's good weather. You can't really harvest in the rain. The bees get upset. Thank you, Amber. Pat, come on over, please.
You forgot to mention Dr. Nakasoni's shirts are flying off the aisle. That
Oh,
special
yeah,
shirt you made.
Cass Nakasoni, that famous surgeon. We got his shirt.
Yeah.
She didn't bring that today.
No, but we haven't found
Next week we'll do
Yeah,
it.
we're still looking for Dr. Nakasoni so we can celebrate his shirt and give him one. But in the meantime, you can come down to the gift shop and find his shirt and wear it, and hopefully one day he'll actually show up. So we're looking for you, Dr. Nakasoni. Friends in Hawaii, our diaspora, please call up Dr. Nakasoni and tell him that we're waiting for him down at the Pirates Cove. Hey, so Jeff, a lot of news going on, particularly with the Pirate Podcast. Looks like we had over 600,000 visitors to our product in over the last 1 month. And like, share, and subscribe if you love this content, particularly those of you like in the military. Welcome to Guam. And then especially those of you in the States, the diaspora. We know you're watching. We thank you. Thanks, Uncle Tony. Spread the news. San Diego, Bremerton, Washington, Las Vegas, Texas. Let's spread the news that Guam is alive, we're well, but we're at war. We're at war, unfortunately, with some people that want to do us harm. We're getting ready for maybe repercussions that are going to befall us here as we pivot to the Pacific, and Taiwan is in the crosshairs. But we're also at war against corruption from our own government. The government of Guam has failed us on many levels. We'll talk about that today. And maybe Bishra, you can kind of set the tone, set the table for what's about to happen here on the Pirate Podcast.
Welcome everyone. Today we have two very different conversations, but equally exciting and important. Our first guest today, Ms. Pat Pexa. She's a well-known alternative and holistic medicine practitioner. I'm really excited to hear more about the horse issue that you deal with. So we bring you topics today anywhere from law, order, justice, healing, and horses, which will be probably my favorite part. And then in the second part of our show, we have another special guest for you, Attorney Peter Santos, who is also in the run for the Attorney General's office, where we will examine his background, his aspirations, and probably his ideas on how to improve that institution on Guam. So let's begin with introducing you, our very first and special guest, Ms. Pexa. Can you tell us what inspired you to go on this very unique and special journey? A little bit about your background and probably your life path that brought you there.
All right. Okay, so I came to Guam in 1970 as a teacher, which dates me a bit, and and I retired. I was just 50 when I retired from teaching, and I wanted to do something else more health related, and so I realized I probably would never pass chemistry. I passed chemistry, but I just didn't have the brain to do naturopathic medicine. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll go to massage school. And I was talking to Greg Miller, the chiropractor, and he said, if I were going to go to massage school, I'd go to Rolfing school. Oh, good idea.
Oh, this is Greg's idea.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's how I got started on that path.
So just to educate our viewers, what is Rolfing?
Okay, Rolfing is a technique that works with soft tissue that actually makes changes and improves structure and function. So I went off to school when I was 50, had the work done. I had to have it done there because at that time we didn't have anyone here. Lloyd Keckley had been here at the university. He was a math teacher, and he was a Rolfer, actually trained by Ida Rolf, who developed the technique. And he would go to Japan on weekends and do Rolfing. Mm-hmm. And so he was probably instrumental in getting it going in Japan too. But so it's a done on a table, similar to massage, mm-hmm. but its focus is different. Some techniques are different. It works a lot with fascia, which we all have. It's one big continuous organ that goes throughout your body, to all connected, including up into your brain. So we used to say, Rolf the body, Rolf the brain.
It always has to call back to the brain, right?
So anyhow, yeah, I went to school. From here, I went to, it's in Boulder, the school, the Rolf Institute is in Boulder, Colorado. So I left here, I think January 1st, from nice warm weather here to January weather in Colorado.
What a switch.
And started my journey, which I finished in a little over a year, I guess. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So tell us more about the other techniques that you use in your practice.
Well, basically I do that. I've worked with, I go to the States in the summer, mm-hmm. and one of my neighbors has horses, and we set up a table under the trees, and the horses come in and help us. They're amazing.
What is the process? This is so exciting and very
What does a
interesting.
horse do?
Yeah.
The horses are so intuitive, and they know. I've had them push me, literally hit me like this with their nose. Mm-hmm. I mean, so you feel it. Mm-hmm. And push to get me out of the way because they didn't think that's where I should be working.
Mind your own
They
business.
understand, somehow they understand language. I think it's the energy of the language. I had one horse, I also work with organs, okay, with Rolfing. And so one particular client had the aggressive cancer where they take the uterus and both breasts.
Oh, wow.
And she wanted me to work with that area, the abdomen. And so Banjo comes up, and she's the one who hit me in the shoulder because she wanted me. I started on her leg. I was going to work up there. And Banjo comes and hits me, and I said, Banjo, I don't know where you want me to work. It was like I was learning how to communicate with the horses. She moves from one side of me around to the other side of me and puts her nose right over her abdomen.
Oh.
The horse did.
The horse did. And I was really dense, I'm sure. And her
probably-
eyes get big when I talk to her. And I said, Banjo, I still don't know where you want me to work. And her eyes get big again. And Heather, who was a craniosacral therapist and was working at the woman's head, says, you're supposed to work with the energy of her uterus. But I got that message from Forrest.
That
The
is
other
so
Four-way conversation, 2 humans and 2 horses.
So their intuition is fundamental sometimes to translate that into where to work on that patient.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I've heard similar stories. I've heard that dogs also have that
Yes.
uncanny sense of smell, that they can actually smell the cancer on a patient. And they, I've heard that there are practitioners that train certain breeds of dogs that are more in tune to it. So not surprised that an animal can actually be not only a life partner, but also a healing partner.
Do you sometimes think the horses laugh at you? Do they? You said.
I don't know, they might.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, they will, see, they have 4 legs, right, and they're very grounded. And when you work with people, there's energy happening, energy transferring, and so they often, when you're working, will roll to get rid of that energy.
Roll on their back.
Yeah, they'll lay down and roll in the pasture, or in the grass to dispel that energy.
I've seen horses that can sense the bad vibes from people too. They're very in tune with that. Like,
Well,
if you have bad intentions, they'll know.
Yeah. Do you have dogs that don't like certain people?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have to.
I've had the experience, I had a horse, and they didn't like men. Horse like women.
Yeah. Well,
That
it
is very
depends.
true. You know, and
It
I have
depends.
just seen the horse actually, you know, the girl was giving it an apple and he bit her on the chest, you know. I mean, that's the worst I saw from this horse, right?
Yeah.
But it was an affection thing. It wasn't
Yeah.
really
Yeah, they
meant to do that.
They do.
Horse bit me in the back of the neck one time after I washed it, and then I got mad and punched it and it almost broke my hand, so I got rid of that horse. But yeah,
Yeah, you
it's
have to
interesting
watch.
to hear
Yeah.
that they can help with medicine and different
But
things
you,
like
you have
that.
to watch it. I mean, there's different. They all have different personalities, and some of them like to nip toes. So you got to watch them,
And some may
it's not
kick you.
necessarily a
Some may-
mean
and
thing.
they can be, as I told you earlier, they could be very spicy and very sweet at the same
Yeah.
time.
You have
Yeah.
to-
So tell us more about what we're seeing here. What is that special
This
tool?
tensegrity apparatus. It's a toy actually, but I brought it because in our work we work to realign bodies, right? So if you're in a car accident, so you get hit. See what happens to your body, and those things stay in there. Those jerks and things like that stay in your body, and so the type of work I do helps to release those. So a lot of my clients are people with car accident history, because they didn't necessarily break bones or have other injuries, but there's still traumatic things that happen in the structure.
That kind of reminds me of, gosh, was it the first law of dynamics, where energy
Reaction.
goes somewhere, but It doesn't disappear, and if you want to get rid of that, then you have to extract it somehow. Something like that, in this kind of sense.
Well, sometimes you work on people and you feel heat. It just disappears. Just dissipate, comes out of their tissues. Usually there's a change. I was actually working on someone who'd been in a car accident. I was working on her foot, and something hit me in the chest, and I said, "Something just hit me in the chest," and she said, "Yeah, I felt it come out of my foot."
That's some Jedi stuff, I think.
So energy is there.
Yeah,
It can be
that
in a
force.
ball, or it can be,
It's amazing. It's amazing
yeah.
because typically, let's say 20, 25 years ago, work like that wouldn't be perceived and received well, because a lot of like professional medical doctors who are here, they say, no, this has no scientific basis. But if we go back, let's just say 5,000, 10,000 years, go back, and what were our ancestors doing? They were using the power of the earth, the water, touch, all that transfer event. They were more in tune to nature, I'd say. Like we put shoes on, right? And we're not grounded anymore. But back in the day, they were stepping on the ground all the time. There's even mythology about that.
And now you buy sheets, grounding sheets to put on your bed.
Yeah. So folks, if you can, please barefoot for at least 20 minutes a day, ground yourself.
You have some brochures there.
Well, I was just going to give these to you and to you, and
There's Rolfie.
and the other thing I would like to say is that I had a school. I started about 6-7 years ago, and Clarissa Torres was one of my students. So she's actively practicing. Now, we have to call the work structural integration because that's what Ida Rolf called it, and I did not go through the Rolf Institute. I went through the International Association of Structural Integrators to get my certification for my school. And then about the time my husband passed and COVID hit, they changed all the rules. So we're in the process of sending that in again, and hopefully next year we'll be up and running to teach a few more people how to do this work.
And interestingly, as Bishop was saying, I think a lot of the local medical insurance companies have come to recognize that things like structural integration, massage, acupuncture, and even many forms of physical therapy are more useful and probably worth investing in your healthcare dollar rather than medications that make you numb or make you sleepy and probably don't really help you get better. So the idea that we have alternatives on Guam that are reimbursable now through Medicare, Medicaid, Select Care, Take Care, this is actually almost a revolutionary change from even 18, 20 years ago when these things were not paid for and people were paying for it out of pocket. So it's interesting, Dr. Greg Miller, who's a chiropractor, and even 20 years ago, the chiropractors were having a tough time getting reimbursed for their services. Dr. Miller now has been a very strong advocate for the Allied Health Board and has been involved in a lot of both the credentialing or authorizing of genuine practitioners. And he's also been one of the watchdogs for people that claim to do things that maybe they shouldn't be doing, or at least they haven't been sanctioned, regulated, or inspected so that they're doing it correctly. This is the role of both government as well as citizens to be activated to watch out for each other. By doing this conversation and by having things like the Allied Health Board as part of the government of Guam, we're trying to make sure that when you get hurt, you don't have to worry that the things that are being offered to you, the things that you're spending money and time on, are authentic or are truly useful, or that the people that are touching you are bad actors. I mean, unfortunately, things still happen, but I mean, let's face it, when you are involved in this kind of practice, it's high touch and it's also very personal, and potentially you expose yourself to danger if your customer has bad intentions, right? So there's a very, I think, significant, I guess, calculus that has to be made in the community as to how to regulate this, if it needs regulating at all. But obviously, What you do is very important. You've spent a lot of time learning it, and now Clarissa is trying to carry on that tradition. It's important that I think we make it sustainable. Can you speak to some of the challenges that you've made in terms of getting it into the community, and particularly with the insurance companies?
Well, I've been at fault for not really pursuing it because I was the only one and I had adequate clients without that extra hassle for me. The VA does cover it if I, and I started the process of applying, but I have not finished it. So I'm hopeful I'll get that done, and so that option is available. In terms of technique and things, just last summer, one of my colleagues and teachers in Colorado kind of convinced me to get a laser, so I brought back a cold laser that I use, and I'm getting amazing change with people people I've worked with for 15 years who've been in car accidents. I'm getting additional change that I credit the laser for with, and so that's another. And I'm personally using that to take care of infections. I haven't been on antibiotics since I got it.
It's a cold laser.
It's a cold
Carissa's
laser.
a heat laser,
Right. It uses light. Mine uses green and purple light.
Very cool.
And this is amazing, because I think this show is probably one of the first to really bring this to the public consciousness. We're talking about evolutions in care on Guam that don't involve you taking medicines, don't involve you getting shots necessarily, although acupuncture is a form of injection, or no, that's not true, because they're putting a needle in you, but they're not injecting anything. But just as your Rolfing or structural integration has evolved now, maybe your practice to integrate light therapy, acupuncture has evolved to include electrical therapy. So many acupuncturists will do things that look like a TENS unit. They'll use electricity, but I think a lot of it comes back to many thousands of years of knowledge about the human body and the need to have the right rhythm, the flows, things that horses probably know all about.
Yeah.
So Clarissa, you're a student, but apparently you already have a reputation, because even Peter Santos knew about you. You're already practicing, and so can you tell people about your experience?
I'm 2 years in structural integration this coming April. I'm also 10 years a massage therapist.
Wow.
So I started with massage therapy first. I dabbled in a little bit of traditional healing, came back to massage after I met Pat, and I learned that she had her school going on, and it was something that I wanted to do right after I had graduated massage therapy school. And so I took the opportunity when it was presented.
And we are both board certified through the International Association of Structural Integration.
And when you were touching on insurance, I am working with Netcare so far. I have applied to Select Care, but I haven't heard anything back yet. So far the massage therapy is in the insurance realm, and we're going to work on getting the structural integration into it also.
Perfect. I'm sure people are really interested to learn more, and so we need to put this information into the Pirate Nation, 10,000 strong. How do people get a hold of you?
For me personally, you can contact me via my cell phone, 671-483-2287, and Pat.
Yeah, I'm old tech, old school.
She used the rotary.
Yeah. No, same cell phone, 671-687-7392.
Okay.
Excellent.
Or you can just call the Pirate Nation and we'll probably hook you up. Yeah, and again, hey, folks, you listening at home, it's a beautiful day. The thing about the rain, it just made things better. Come on down to the Pirates Cove. The barbecue, I don't know what's going on over there, but the smell's even more, maybe the wind's blowing a different direction, but it smells great as you walk into the Pirates Cove. There's a party going down here, and after the show, many of us are going to be going over, and so you can meet up with the guests and talk to the hosts and just have a great time and go to the gift shop. So before we kind of wrap up the discussion, was there anything else structurally that you wanted to bring
Yeah,
up?
let's talk about the book that you
Yeah, oh,
published.
yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah, let's not forget about
The
that.
banana book?
Yeah. Oh, that was a little journey quite a while ago, but I did write a book about our dog. He was kind of a character, and it's called Butch Goes Bananas. Jeff used to have them, but I think I
It's
took
sold
them
out. Yeah.
idea. Anyhow, so I still have a few copies. If anybody wants one, they can get a hold of me.
This guy.
Well, that's the thing.
Yes,
I
I'll
think
give you one.
I would like signed copies from the author because I hear you've printed 3,000 and you may only have one box left with, I'm imagining, is probably 25 books.
Yeah, maybe a few more than that.
Okay,
maybe
well,
40.
Well,
Yeah.
so folks listening out there, Barney Goes Bananas. is
Butch Goes Bananas.
Well, actually, Barney went bananas first, but apparently he got into ice, and so now he's at DOC. And I think people probably framed him because he really is a good dog, but Barney's still serving 20 to 30 years. I mean, it's a bum rap. So we're going to ask Peter Santos to talk about that. But Butch, his younger brother, he went bananas.
He went bananas.
And it's a great. And can you tell us a little bit of synopsis of what?
Well, he just got into, he was a boony dog. He showed up in the neighbor's yard, and my son conned us into taking him in. And he just never ended his getting into trouble stuff. And we came home one night, and he had been in the trash.
Yeah.
And the oatmeal carton was stuck on his head, and he was embarrassed and sweaty. The whole thing was moist from breathing. Anyhow, he was just a character.
Could you answer the question that I think a lot of our listeners want to know, especially those of you out there in diaspora land, because you haven't been home lately, but I think everybody remembers this particular thing about Puni dogs is, why do they like to eat diapers? Little baby diapers. What is that? You know, those are the hardest things to clean up, especially these new ones. They have all this kind of gel in it, and it's really tough. Right, Pete? Really tough to clean it up afterwards. You don't know?
I don't know.
All right.
Let me tell you why.
Tell me.
It
I don't
strengthens.
know where they come from.
No. It strengthens their immune system.
Dogs find everything you don't want them to find.
Okay, one last question.
Okay.
Or, I mean, do we have more questions? Okay, this is the really important one because you touch on being able to, I guess, be in tune with animals, and the animals have a special relation to the universe. And then, I mean, you use your hands to heal. It's beautiful stuff. Why do cats do this? Why do they come up in the air with?
I don't know.
What's
They're
it-
probably
They're comfortable with you. They feel safe to do it.
Yeah.
It's a kitten reaction when they're breastfeeding, when they're little kittens. That's what they do to their mother. So that means that they're close to you and they love you. And also, you have that
See?
same connection to the universe. Every human does.
Yeah, we all have that.
Yeah, but we're in shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our connect. she's
Mine are even thicker.
Shout out to Pete's shoes.
Yeah.
It's more than your
I
feet.
do use energy to check. I get my clients on the table. I put my hands on their feet and figure out where I'm going to start working. And I have a number of clients who will say, I said, what are we working on today? Oh, you'll figure it out.
Like, share, subscribe.
That's a
We
good
need
way.
to boost this program. It's necessary. We need to get out into the universe. We need to influence the universe. Yes.
Okay, so I'll speak loudly. We have 3 veterans in the room here, and I think now in the advent of possibly war, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us are healing for many different reasons, and I think this is an important conversation. A lot of the population here on Guam may be focused on healing and pain management, and they're not aware of the type of healing that is an alternative form of healing that does not rely on pharmaceutical, medication, more light therapy. Can you tell them, sometimes we're at a place in life where the pain is too challenging to understand that there's another way to manage it and deal with it. And when you go to traditional clinics, it's not always, and maybe this is something, Doc, you can even also chime in on, it's not always an easy conversation for a doctor to say, go try light therapy, or go and use acupuncture. And actually in the military, when you're in pain, they use that in the field. Because sometimes there's no actual morphine in the field, right? So how do people transition mentally when they're suffering? They come back, they're in pain, and all they get is, pills.
Well, I've worked with some, but yeah, they have to be willing to reach out and try, and a lot of it, I don't know just how you get them started. I've been taking classes in Bend, Oregon, from one of my longtime teachers who works with bones. So I work with bones too. And the person who sets it up works a lot with veterans. So a lot of our clients, when we take the classes, are veterans. And they are amazing. They love it. They are so appreciative. I've seen those tough guys cry after they've had work. I worked on one fellow, not last summer, the summer before. 2 or 3 of us worked on him. He was in so much pain, we had to put him on his side to get him comfortable to work with him, rather than his back. And we were kind of floating. I stayed with him the whole time, but other people came in and out because you could move from client to client. And anyhow, he gets up after we're done. He actually fell asleep while we were working. And he wakes up, and we wake him up and get him up, and he says, "My headache's gone." And I said, "How long have you had it?" And he said, "Since 2008. I mean, I wanted to cry.
Yeah, that's good results.
Yeah, and you always get better results when you're in a room with all these people and all the energy. So, it's been phenomenal for me. In fact, I've thought, my teacher goes to Ukraine every fall, that teacher, and works with veterans or soldiers. And I've thought of going with her, but now with all the stuff going on in the Middle East, I may not go, and she may not go. But it's pretty incredible.
May I? I believe also every person has to come to it on their own, right? But I believe that if doctors were, in fact, also sharing about the work that we do, it would help bring that information to them. And it's important to remember that, as she demonstrated earlier, right? If there's a tension in the body, it'll pull. Like you can see in this little thing here, if there's something pulling this way, the other side gets affected. And so when there's a trauma or something like this in the body, it's going to pull one way. So a lot of the pain that people can feel, it's from a tension from an accident or a traumatic event, and the muscle is pulling in one way. And these things tend to happen through lifestyle, through habit and accidents. So the tension in the body grabs and it holds like in this way. And so we're working with the patterns in the fascia to help that to release so that it can come back to a more neutral place and to cause less pain.
Well, the only thing I want to say is that the VA medical system is flawed. It's flawed. That's number one. And I will say that if it wasn't for a holistic therapist that kind of started my journey, because a lot of the trauma that we went through, we suppress it. Yeah. So when they ask us like, "Oh, is your knees okay?" We're like, "Yeah, it's fine." But if it wasn't for the holistic therapist, it really took me back, way back, and really kind of, when you talk about crying, it kind of brought me back, and I forgot all about what happened that day. And I remember that my shoulder was hurting, but you suppress that. And so you got to start somewhere. So you go to the VA, they give you pills. And so it's very flawed. And I think we need to do something about it. And I agree with you, Doc, on the medical side. I think that this has to be part of a normal transition. And I'm talking on behalf of the veterans that I know, but it has to be part of the everyday, especially when you're treating veterans, because if it wasn't for that holistic doctor or therapist, I wouldn't have remembered everything that I had gone through. And I'm getting treated for it now. And there are injuries that actually, after 15, 20 years, they're popping up. Yes. And I don't remember. And it's not in my record book. And that is the issue that we have with the VA. The VA denies you because you didn't go to sick call because you hurt your your head, your neck, your back. And if it's not in your record, they are denying you. And so they give you the pills, you get so frustrated, and then you get into this dark realm. And because the pain is so much, because after you start taking the pills, it really just comes back. It doesn't heal you. It just suppresses the pain. And we've had a lot of veterans commit suicide because there was no other option in their mind other than just to do that. So I truly believe in what you're doing and what you're saying, and it has to be incorporated as part of the medical side, Doc. So
I think it's important to remember too that we're required to have continuing education. We have to learn about the body and its different systems, and so if you want to work with a body worker, it's important to see one who is certified or a structural integrator like ourselves, because we have to upkeep our education in order to have our certification. So we're aware of the body and its systems, and we're always learning what's new. So something to keep in mind.
Jeff?
Excellent. Well, I think it's great to know all this. I heard about Rolfing, but now I know a lot more about it, and it's a pleasure to have you here and to tell people out there just what it's all about. It's great. Well, thank you.
Appreciate it, and I appreciate Dr. Akimoto, because I switched doctors to him because I knew he was open to alternative medicine.
What a great doctor.
And I knew Pat was groovy, and now I know Clarissa. You're both groovy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you both.
Okay.
Thank you.
So much
Okay.
for
All
coming
right.
today.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a hug. You know, I never get to hug you at the
Yeah,
clinic.
I got pain in my neck. I might come see you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you for having us.
see you again.
So while we change the palette, we're going to
Okay.
inject the
Take
room
care,
with testosterone. We're going to bring some of the forces of good into the room to try to discuss some of the important things that are going on in our community. Yes, sir?
But Doc, to kind of keep it unfiltered.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Okay, go.
Maybe we should get a horse as the election is coming and have the candidates.
When do you want me to?
Candidates stand
I'm
in
telling
front.
you, I had
Like in
horses
The Godfather,
horses.
we put the horse in the bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
No, not in the bed.
No, just
Scoot on over next to Jeff.
Everybody shift over.
Yeah, shift over. Let's make this one chair out of the room.
Just to see the candidate's energy and see how the horse reacts.
I know,
towards-
but like in the what are you doing? Okay, you've been in the middle.
Yeah,
So I
we
can
need
just
to
see
check
him
the
right
vibes.
there in The Godfather. Okay. Bye, guys. So, folks, yeah, this is a long-awaited, anticipated, and now it's real. We're having Attorney Peter Santos in studio to tell us his story. So, you know, he's been very active in the community, but you don't know the real Peter Santos until you've met him here on the Pirate Podcast. So welcome, sir. It is a pleasure and honor. And please tell us about yourself. Tell the people of Guam about you and why you want to be Attorney General of Guam.
Start with your background. You know, you're born here, right?
Thank you. But first, I want to say Biba Mes Tomoru, Biba Marianas, Biba Guam, Biba Jeff Pleewell, Biba Pirates Cove.
Come on,
You know,
Biba.
I am just so honored and privileged to be here today with the legendary Jeff and the legendary Doc and the soon-to-be more legendary Mr. Hermosa.
Governor
It's
Hermosa.
Sunday, and you can't have a good Sunday without mimosas and Charlie Hermosa, right? And then it's also I've met this beautiful lady here, Miss Bistra Mendiola, several times in the campaign trail last election, right? And we've gotten to know each other. But going back to my background, I was born in Agat. I was living my family was living in a tin shack without indoor plumbing, without electricity. Our electricity was an extension cord from the Rages family next door, right? And that's how we grew up. Typhoon Pamela wiped that little thing out, and then we went up to Santa Rita, where my formative years, that's where I remember growing up, was in Santa Rita. We were living on Section 8, welfare, food stamps, free lunch, you name it, hand-me-downs. That's how my worldview was in the beginning. And I always was looking for somebody to help me, somebody to give me something, right? It wasn't until I became an adult where I realized I need to pull my own weight. It's very debilitating to have that kind of dependency mindset, right? And it's not the kids' fault. But when we become adults, we need to change that and become more self-sufficient, right? There was even a point when we were living in California, because we moved to California for education and opportunities, and most of our family was out there. There was even a point when we were living in a station wagon, and we ended up in a homeless shelter. And that was because my mom got addicted to crack cocaine. You know, I tell this story all the time. It's life. It happens. And so going through that was very, very, it formed a lot of my resilience, because you're forced to grow up. You're forced to be the parent at that point in time when your parents are, you know, dysfunctional. And so that's the kind of person I became. As soon as I got out of high school, I came back to Guam to take care of my grandmother who was sick, and I joined the police department. And in the police department, I had a bunch of great mentors. I wouldn't have gone to college if it wasn't for one of my supervisors, Bonnie Suba, who forced me one night, because she knew my routine. I would get off, go meet my boys at the club, and then come back the next day. And one night she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm gonna go meet the boys." And she said, "Well, you can't leave today until you fill this out." And it was the scholarship application for the Doc Sanchez program. And so I did that. And then as soon as I graduated from college, I joined active duty military, because 3 months before I was supposed to graduate, my grandmother passed away. And she was the only thing keeping me, you know, stuck on Guam. I say stuck, but, you know, tied to Guam. And so I had a choice at that time. Do I leave forever? Do I leave, you know, for a little bit? And my intent and my goal at the time, at that crossroads, was to leave, to join the military, get training, education, come back to Guam after I'm done doing all that, and then be a better public servant to the people of Guam than I was as a police officer. Don't get me wrong, being a police officer was very satisfying. To this day, I have people coming up to me saying, "Hey, do you remember me? You did this for me, you did that for me," whatever. Even people I've arrested that said, "You know, thank you for arresting me, because that changed the trajectory of my life."
The way things
you know,
work out. Yeah.
Right, it is. So anyways, lo and behold, I joined in June 2001. And then we all know what happened in September 2001. 9/11 happened. So what I thought I was getting into turned out to be a whole different ball of wax. And so I ended up getting deployed back to back, 3 consecutive deployments. And then after that, I was like, okay, I think I've done what I'm supposed to do. And I put in my resignation, to resign my commission. And the Army at the time was hemorrhaging because they lifted stop, loss, stop, move, and then everybody wanted to get out because nobody wanted to be constantly at war and getting deployed over and over, right? And so they said to me, "Well, what can we do to make you stay?" They offered me ACS, Advanced Civil Schooling, where I would go to get a degree in English or engineering or mathematics and then go be a professor at West Point and ride my career out that way. And so I Googled, what's it like over there? And they said 6 feet of snow every year. I said, no, thank you, right?
Make a difference.
Yeah, so I said, what else can you give me? And so they said, well, it's not guaranteed, but you can apply for this thing called FLEP, Funded Legal Education Program. And so I did that, got in, by the grace of God. And then as soon as I was done with my military obligation, I came back to Guam and became a prosecutor. And so here I was, from this literally dirt poor situation, because our tin shack back in the day didn't have floors. We put carpet on the ground. That was our house, right? So anyways, going from that to having a law degree, becoming a lawyer, and I paid 0 for any of my schooling. So it was, I like to say there's a doctor that paid for my bachelor's degree. It's Doc Sanchez, right?
Yeah.
And then my uncle paid for my law degree. It was Uncle Sam, right? And so, you know, I didn't plan any of this, but I always knew that I wanted to serve. And that's why I'm here. And the question was, why do I want to be the Attorney General of Guam? Because the Attorney General of Guam has to have three things, right? It's integrity, competence, and leadership. And for the last going on 8 years, we haven't had an Attorney General of Guam because those three things have been lacking. So that's why I'm running for Attorney General of Guam.
What would you do as your first move if you were Attorney General?
Well, you have to triage, right? So prosecution right now is flatlined. You got to get those guys back. There are a lot of people that are still here on Guam that want to go back, but they're just waiting, right? They're waiting for better conditions. Now, it's not totally true that the problems at the AG's office is for lack of attorneys, because how then do you explain that the public defender and the alternate public defender are full, and oh, by the way, there's a waiting list for people to come work there, right? And how do you explain that a dozen of the attorneys that are there now at alternate public defender, as well as the Civil Law Center, a dozen came from the Attorney General's office. So it's not that there's a general lack of attorneys on Guam, it's where do they want to work? And so that feeds into the problem of why prosecution is flatline, is because you just are drowning, you're overwhelmed, right? And I give kudos to those who are there right now and still fighting the good fight, because they're saints. They're honestly saints. Some of them are just waiting to find an opportunity to leave, and there isn't. And so right now they're just waiting. Now, just last week we had 2 leave again. So that's unfortunate. But we've gotten some people in. The office has brought some people in. We've been seeing some new faces. And so I'm hopeful that, you know, because I'm about the system, the criminal justice system. I'm not pro-defense or pro-prosecution. I'm about having the whole entire system work. Because my idea of justice is when we have a functioning and fair system. Whether we have convictions, acquittals, plea bargains, or dismissals, as long as the process was fair and functional, then the end result is justice. So you don't look for wins or losses, you look for justice. And that comes from my training as a military attorney. We're taught it's not about the end result. That's not justice in and of itself. It's about whether the process to get to that end result was fair and adequate. And so if we don't have an adequate system and thereby it becomes unfair, then we don't have justice, right?
So Pete, what exactly you see as a problem? Because you keep reiterating that the process is broken. Somehow, am I understanding correctly?
Yes, if you ask the judges, just last week I sat in so many hearings where the judges were complaining. You have judges now that are actually doing the role of prosecution and settling cases, which is highly unusual. What does that sound like? It sounds like receivership, right? And the reason why they're doing that is because, to quote one judge, if we wait for you, we're going to wait for 3 years. If we wait for you, it's never going to happen, right?
So, meaning to say, from
prosecution, they're waiting
the
for prosecution.
So basically, the prosecutor is overwhelmed. There's too many cases to handle. They don't have the workforce to handle the cases.
That's one aspect, but an even more important aspect, none of them have discretion.
Explain that.
So normally, prosecutors are trusted to work out their cases and come to a fair and just resolution. Mm-hmm. Right now, not even a petty misdemeanor can be negotiated. Prosecutors have been made impotent because every single case has to be blessed off personally by the guy on top.
Okay, so...
And we're waiting months and months just to hear back.
No, I just want to touch on, and thank you for using Doc's lingo, flatline. Doc,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something, right? So, but it can get restarted, right, Doc? I mean, if we jolt it,
Yeah.
right, we can get a little bit of a heart
He's
beat
the
back on.
defibrillator.
Defibrillator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's maybe we'll nickname you,
Right.
you know, kind of get everything jump started. But why do you say that it is flatline? Right
Because
now?
I'm in the system and I see it every day. I hear the judges complaining. You know, the reason why DOC is overcrowded is because GPD is doing their job and cases are not moving along. And so that's why, and what is stopping the cases from moving along? If you ask any judge, I will bet you $1,000. Any of the judges right now, ask them, what's keeping the cases from moving along? It's prosecution.
Okay, so the process, you know, because this is like a chain link of events that needs to occur from point A, from arrest to filing the official complaint to going to, I guess, the first hearing, if the judge orders or whatever, the parties don't come to a deal, then we go to a trial. So from A to Z, if one of those chain links is broken, then the entire system falls apart. Am I understanding correctly?
Yes, and speaking of the first step, which is magistrate, we're seeing about a 40 to 50% fail rate because the magistrate complaints are not being written technically correct, right? There's a probable cause standard, which by the way is the lowest standard, and yet we're seeing cases getting dismissed left and right. You know, if the news wants to really report on the reality on the ground, they'd be sitting and watching every magistrate hearing. But on any given day, 40 to 50% of the charges are dismissed at that point because the prosecutor, who's the one that's responsible, it can't be anybody else. It has to be the prosecutor. The prosecutor is not meeting their requirements, and the judges have to do their job. Their hands are tied. And then that's why people are getting released. And then also, by the way, if I was a military magistrate, and so there's 3 things that needs to be proven for someone to be held. And it's the prosecutor's job to prove these things, right? 1 is that they're a flight risk. 2 is that they're a danger to themselves, someone particular, or someone else, or the community at large. And then 3 is that they won't show up to court hearings, right? And so it is prosecution's job to establish this using the records and other facts that they can present to the judge. It's not the judge's job, but it is the judge's job to look at that and show whether or not they've met their burden. And that's why people are getting released, because prosecution's not meeting their burden in showing these things, right? Now, the thing is with the law, the default is when you're arrested and charged, you must be released. Unless, like I said, you can show any of those 3 things. And prosecutors are failing to show these things. And so then the judge, and then what happens? They blame the judges. But the law is very clear. They have their hands tied. If the prosecution fails to meet their burden, then they must be released.
Okay, so what you will do you have like a solid plan, like day 1, we start doing this, day 2, this, we're gonna tackle this situation, that situation. Did you have it somehow formulated in your head already?
Well, when I came, there was a robust prosecutor training program. They put you with, at the time, prosecutor Jonathan Kwan, who is now a magistrate judge. He was the officer, or he was, my military keeps coming back. He was the attorney in charge of the training program. He would train everything on how to write a magistrate complaint, so on and so forth. And we were seeing a very, very small percentage of failure, right? Because they were getting properly trained. That's not happening right now. They're just like, there's the report, write it, go. What we did have is submission of campaign rhetoric saying, oh, drugs are a problem, so you should keep this, drug is a general problem plaguing Guam, so you should keep this guy behind bars. That doesn't meet the legal standard, right? You cannot, that's why Judge Cisan threw it back at him and said, don't take this into the court. That's campaign material. There has no place in the court.
So you're basically saying that there is a pushback to that I guess, handling of the
That
office.
approach, yeah.
So there is pushback not only from you, of course, you've been very vocal, but also from within the judicial
Guam Bar.
system, the Guam Bar, the judges themselves. So, so how do we move forward? I mean,
it's actually quite simple. It's not that difficult. We stop playing politician and we actually roll up our sleeves and work. We train folks. How do you brought up the question about retention. How do we retain people? One, you treat them with dignity and respect, right? By giving them back the discretion that they went to school for and use. Because right now, you don't need these lawyers. You need trained monkeys, right? Because they're being micromanaged and they're not given any kind of responsibility. So you're basically a glorified note taker when you go to court. And this is frustrating the judges to no end. And that's why they're taking things into their own hands, right? So you train people, you treat them with respect, and then you make them so loyal, not loyal in the sense like you have to, obey me, but you make them want to stay because you've treated them with respect. You've trained them, you've developed them professionally. You also care for them personally, right? But when you train someone, there's always that fear that, oh my God, now they're valuable or not, now they're attractive to other people, to other firms, right? They're gonna poach them from me. Well, if you treat them with respect and you develop them, they're gonna naturally be loyal to you, and you can offer them $1 billion and they'll say, no, thank you. I'll stay here because the job is good. The people are good. I love what I'm doing. The service that I'm doing. I feel that I have a purpose that I'm fulfilling. That's how you retain people.
And Peter, I know you and I kind of switching gears just slightly. We've had this conversation before, but when you look and you're talking to the folks that are going to be voting out there, right?
Yes.
And so when we look at the office of the AG, how do you see it representing, or how is it in the mix when we look at economic development, right? Safety for our visitors, safety for our business owners, small business owners, anti-corruption, right? White and blue collar type. How do you see the office playing a role? How would you play into the overall mix when we talk about economic development? How are we going to move the island forward?
Yes. So a lot of people fail to understand or don't realize that the Office of the Attorney General is dual-headed. It has a civil side and a criminal side. The Organic Act, which is the more supreme law, says that the Attorney General is the chief legal officer. Park that there for a minute, right? Then it's a local statute that says that he's also the chief prosecutor, okay? So to answer your question, Charlie, and I'm actually going to answer questions today, unlike the previous, But anyways, to answer your question, right? You have a well-oiled prosecution machine that's going to fight corruption. By the way, when I was up there, we did white-collar crimes. We did get people for, tax evasion, remember the Prestige Auto case? Those were all white-collar crimes. Right now, we're not seeing any of that. Okay, but anyways, getting back to, so you have a robust, well-oiled machine for prosecution. Now getting on the civil side, right? It is the government of Guam that affects the economy, affects people's lives. And if the government, or what the AG's role is, as the chief legal officer, is to assist the government accomplish its tasks, right? So I have a philosophy of what I call preventative law. It's just like preventative maintenance, preventative medicine. So under preventative law, what you do is you go to these agencies, find out where they're lacking. They don't have a certified procurement officer, right? Tell them, hurry up, get your stuff ready, get somebody there. Then once they're in place, because unfortunately that's the reality, sometimes these are vacant, right? Once that's in place, then the Attorney General has to train these folks. Train, advise, and monitor. Those are the three things that the Attorney General should be doing. Not just, I get something on my desk and, oh crap, this is screwed up nine different ways to Wednesday, right? That wouldn't happen if you had trained them, advised them, and monitored them. By the time that their work product reaches your desk, it should be dress right dress, like we say in the military. And then, oh, by the way, we have to get back those people that had institutional knowledge. Because if you decided to go work somewhere, right, and you get some tasks, and it's your first day or your first week, it might take you a few weeks to figure out how this thing. But if you've been there for 30 years, you might get this product or this request for a contract review, and within 5 minutes, you're done. Sign off. Good to go. You know, wait for the next.
I'm sensing a pattern already from what I'm hearing, that you will strongly emphasize on training.
Preventative law, training,
Yeah.
monitoring, advising, and then ultimately fulfilling the role as approving or disapproving. And oh, by the way, you know, I've been the chief of administrative law for Fort Hood, right? And we deal with all kinds of fiscal, contract, procurement kind of stuff, right? And so there's a system that we had where everything was online. It was on a portal, right? So everything that, from spending to procuring, everything was on a portal. And what does that do? What's the benefit of having it on the portal? Okay, right now, we have all these agencies, right? Someone goes on leave. Oh, nobody knows where the record is. Oh, I don't have her password. You know, it can't do that. It cannot be that way. Someone died, someone retired. Why are we trying to figure out and audit things that happened 7 years ago, right? You should be able to create a system, or we should create a system, the government should create a system where everything lives online. And people with the correct access can go in there and look at it.
But we do have an Office of Technology. We do. That's their job. That's their job.
So
troublemaker.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
So we need to.
Next show, we'll talk about that.
Times are changing. Times are changing. Just like when I was a police officer, fighting crime was different. I was part of the war on ICE when it first came. When ICE first hit Guam, you know what the old police officers were saying?
What?
Oh, this is going to be like heroin. It'll blow over in a few years. Here we are almost 40 years later.
Yeah.
And we're still fighting this thing. The fight was different back then. Back then, we were looking for labs. And how we found the labs was either neighbors were reporting it or they'll blow up, right? But then the laws changed and they clamped down on how to get these ingredients. And so now no one can have a lab. So then it evolved. Now it's the cartels that are doing these things, right? And so they're sending it in. But here's the thing that needs to be understood. Fighting drugs, it's a cat and mouse and a whack-a-mole game, right? Meaning you figure out their method today, tomorrow they'll change their method, right?
But
So it's a
Charlie was talking about that,
Yeah.
like the distribution
And then
system,
you
right?
take down one kingpin, the next kingpin will
Yeah.
prop up.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. We're never going to solve it, but we got to try to stay 2 steps ahead of it.
If I may, I think from all the talk that's been talked about regarding drugs since, 70s, you know, peaking now with fentanyl, the only way we can stop the drugs is when we actually educate and wean the people off of them.
Right. So there's a 3-prong approach to the drug problem, right? First is education and awareness. Back when we were doing War on Ice, we were going to the schools. We were getting this guy out of DOC to come and talk about what he did. He's the guy that came down, you know, from a very long drug binge. And then remember, Jeff, this is the guy that plowed into the bus stop full of kids. So we would bring him, we'd check him out of DOC, bring him to the schools and tell the story, right? And so education and awareness, that's one. Remember the Scared Straight program, that's what got me straight. The DARE program, right? All those were very robust back in the day, right? And we're using a lot of federal funds. That big monster truck, that was from Roy Cabacang, right? The Corvette, those were all from Roy Cabacang. Those were seized items from Roy Cabacang. And they were using it for the DARE program, right? So anyways, the second is interdiction and prosecution, right? Interdiction is catching it before it comes in, and then prosecuting those who are dealing, right? And even the addicts. And then the third prong, of course, is the corrections/rehabilitation, where you put people in jail and then you try to rehabilitate them. And the problem with rehabilitation, like you mentioned earlier, is that we don't have enough resources. And then also, we got to remember that not all rehabilitation programs are created equal.
Yeah.
Some are more effective and some are less effective.
Absolutely agree.
Right? But we're getting, not great results with rehabilitation, but I've seen people rehabilitate.
Yeah, I've seen, I mean, the drug problem is so huge. Like, I don't think there's a family that's not affected by it. I've have big family, and of course we do have that problem. So, number one, how we get to use the drugs probably is the most important question. What leads a person to get into using drugs? Because drug is typically a form of escape. Of reality, right? So maybe we need to start from the root cause and start working our way up. So improve the lives of the people.
Right.
Make it livable, less stressful. Give them more resources.
The problem, not the symptoms. That's exactly.
So
exactly right.
As a mother, I understand how to deal with that problem, because that's how you nurture a child.
Right.
Right.
And COVID gave me an idea, and I floated it to some of the senators, and it went nowhere.
Not surprised.
So COVID, right? What were we trying to do with COVID? Stop the spread, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stop the spread. So my idea was to make it a second-degree felony for anyone who introduces meth to someone for the first time, or anyone who gives meth, sells meth, or whatever to someone they know is in a bona fide rehabilitation program. So to make it a second-degree felony, the pushback I got was like, well, how are we gonna do that?
Yeah, enforcement's gonna be a little bit tricky.
Right.
Yeah,
but you offer the guy that was busted for drugs.
Nevertheless, you need to put it in a bill form. I need to put it in there.
Right.
I try to do the same thing when I was battling the government trying to shut us down in the vape business. When I said, let's create a law that will treat vaping just same as tobacco and alcohol for minors, because that wasn't on the books. Well, we're still waiting for that one.
Yeah.
Right. So very similar.
Why wouldn't you just try to cut the supply off?
That's what I was saying earlier. You find out how they're doing it. You figure out their method today. Tomorrow they change their method.
Yeah, I mean, there's only two ways, right?
Right.
Ocean, air.
Correct.
How do you think most of the drugs are coming to Guam? That meth.
Well, we need to develop intel, and we need for the federal government and the local agencies to work together. I've been talking with some of the customs guys. I've been talking with some of the federal agents. Right now, I get a sense that the left hand and the right hand doesn't know what each other is doing. And I also get a sense, and I'll say this, that they don't trust the locals. The feds don't trust the locals. That's the sense I'm getting.
You think there's a reason for that?
I think the locals and the feds have always been suspicious of each other. It's not something that's unique to Guam.
Can we cut to the chase, right? You come from Agat. There's a lot of people in Agat who are affiliated with, or at least, because it used to be Sinania was the Banditos, and they beat up Jeff back in the day, but now it's the Agat Town Bloods, right? And
Agat Blood Town.
Yeah, they've been accused of having great support in Adelup as well as in GPD, or at least in people who have previously been in the hierarchy of GPD. And so we're talking about your backyard, the town where you probably still have blood relatives. What is the reality that particular organization has infiltrated both Adelup and the Guam Police Department?
The possibility of that is high because, I mean, we talked about Roy Cabacang. Roy had so many people in his pocket. He had customs officers. He had police officers. He had, just you name it, anyone in the system, port people. He had them in his pocket. And that's how he was able to bring it in. And one thing we got to say.
Wait, did you say port?
Port.
Did you say the Port of Guam?
Port of Guam.
Well, apparently none of it's coming through
the
Port of Guam.
No, it's not. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Here's the thing about that, right? The port is a massive operation. we do not have the resources to go through every single container, so we have to work smarter with what limited resources we have. And one of the things that pays
Why can't we just
dividends.
work harder, buddy?
Because
Well, you know, there's a lot of employees down at the port.
Well, can you ask Uncle Bill Gates to give us $1 trillion so that
Well,
we
how
can?
about, I mean, you know, it's not that big, right?
Right.
And there's an awful lot of guys down there that seem to have time to either smoke, vape, or do crack.
Right, but
can we just make them work harder?
reality is.
Would you, as Attorney General, mandate or enforce the testing of ICE on our port employees on a daily basis?
Guam employees.
Well, of course, that's the
And
purview.
enforce their violation.
That's the purview of the legislature.
No, the governor.
Well, the governor, the
executive.
legislature can require it. They're the only ones that can require it.
It is required. It's in Guam law. You can't. You're not supposed to.
No,
work
you're saying
with-
100%.
No, 100% of the time. You're not supposed to be using ICE.
Correct.
100% of the time.
No, but I thought you meant 100%
well,
testing.
Okay, this is what I really mean.
No, he meant testing.
AG means aspiring governor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you were the chief executive of Guam today, and tomorrow's a Monday, and the next day is a Tuesday, if you were serious about stopping ICE on Guam, you'd start at home, which is the government
Absolutely,
of Guam.
and
so would you mandate daily testing of ICE and budget it?
We would. Well, that would be very expensive, but
not as expensive as her travel bills. She's in Taiwan right now.
right. But getting to
40 million
reality,
okay?
right?
40 million, okay?
Right. Getting to reality. So they have a very effective system in the military.
Yeah.
We could follow that model.
Yes. Okay.
Exactly.
What is
right
your
now?
system?
What is the system?
So the system is 10%.
Okay.
Right, and then if, like you said, if there's a long weekend, there's always you're always going to have to. And oh, by the way, I want to correct the record. For law enforcement, there is no safe harbor. There is no safe
neither
harbor.
at GMH.
Right, there's no safe harbor.
If your surgeon's
Yeah.
on ICE, no safe
Your last
harbor.
speaker said that there was safe harbor. There's not.
Okay.
Okay, so
Pat Pexa? Or
yes.
Doug Moore.
No.
Well, because, you know, in the context of the port, I mean, if somebody was to ask me, if my friend from Off Island would ask me, where do you think most of the majority of the drugs are coming through? I would say the port. I mean, that's 100%. There's no other way about it. And like I've said to somebody else this week, if for some reason the Port of Guam, drugs are not coming through the Port of Guam, I would seriously like to use it as a case study and to show the world
But here's the thing.
We're doing.
We need the intel, and you know why the
We're better
intel
than
is so
Saipan.
elusive? There's two reasons why the intel is so elusive. The ones that know are also the ones that are benefiting, and the ones that and if they tell, what do they say?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
The conspiracy is really deep.
Correct.
It's very deep. I
So
have.
we're going to let them
I've
run
no
the
doubt.
world?
No. What you need,
Roy Capagang get to run the world?
What you need, and let's also face another reality.
Yes, sir.
And I don't mean this as an insult, but out here in Guam, our federal brothers and sisters, they're kind of sent here to kind of chill and relax. They're not really sent here. Guam is not a duty station where they expect you to come here and kick ass, right? This is just a place for them to kind of relax. And so they don't really send their best and brightest out here.
My God, they're sitting over there at the bar
I
right
know,
now. God,
I know.
please.
I'm friends with many of them,
Yes.
you know, but it's the
Share,
reality.
subscribe.
It's the reality.
Wait. You say that, I'm going to contradict you because one of them forced Ricky Berdallo to be so desperate that he tied himself to the chief.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate. Yeah.
No, and then another one of them apparently were running the guys in Saipan into the ground. I mean, I think we got a governor down there, Mr. Torres, who's our former governor, who apparently was being chased out of office.
Well, every once in a while we would get someone that's
But so every once in a while, somebody like Peter Santos comes along.
Right.
He comes out of the village of Agat and via Santa Rita, and you said something I think that's profound. We always want to be profound on this show, or profane. But have you noticed? No bad words today.
No.
So thank you. We're not done yet. But sir, you mentioned something that I think we just want to illuminate just a little bit more. Is that somebody took the time to notice that you were hardworking, you're smart, and you needed a break. You needed a hand up rather than a handout.
Correct.
And her name was Bonnie Suba.
Yes.
And Bonnie Suba, that last name is a great name because
Sister of Paul.
Yeah, that whole family done some good things, right?
Yes.
But for her then to step up and be a positive influence in your life, that's an example I think we want to emanate to the world. I mean,
yes.
Because again, whatever people think about you, right, and what you do, the fact that we're here today talking about some pretty neat things and you're being crystal clear, and I'm very impressed. I think I'm impressed even as much with somebody like Bonnie who took the time to say, hey, you're going to stay back. And she told you something you probably didn't want to hear or weren't prepared to hear,
right?
But you took advantage of it. So good on you too. But I think it speaks to maybe what the Pirate Nation's called to do, which is one, get your butts out there so you can vote, right? We're going to light a fire under your butt. So that be our little hand up. Get out and vote. If you can imagine a better community like Jeff does, your vote matters. And then celebrating somebody like Peter Sanchez, give him your vote. You know, we need this kind of vision in government. Now, whether or not they vote for you to be Attorney General or Governor of Guam, or maybe to go to Washington and represent us in DC. I mean, you're a young man. This is just the beginning of your career in leadership and in the political field. What is you be a mentor now. Speak out to the folks out there in diaspora land who want to come home, right? Because you were one of them. You were living in a station wagon somewhere, but you thought, my roots are home. My grandma is needing me. So tell them to come home.
Absolutely. I always preach, for the drain to reverse. Let people come back. There's a lot of opportunity on Guam that is just waiting for people. And those of us who were born here have an advantage because we are here. You have folks like Bistra and Jeff and Charlie who came here and decided to do something. Why can't, if you were already here, you have an advantage. There are people that came here, from Vietnam with nothing more than the shirts on their backs. And they decided to stay and they decided to contribute to society. And so Guam is unique. Guam has a beautiful culture and community, and we need folks who are from Guam, whether you're Chamorro or not, but if you were raised on Guam and you go out and Guam is your home, you're forever home in your heart, wherever you may be, you go out and you get experience, training, education, come on back and let's all create a better place. Couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, there was this question that was floated out in social media and even the traditional media, right? What can government do to make people stay on Guam? That is a misguided question. It's not the government's job really to make Guam a great place. It's the community ourselves that makes Guam what it is. The government is there to serve us. The government is there to provide us with police. They're there to pick up our garbage. They're there, I would argue even they shouldn't be giving us our water and our power, right? Everything should be privatized. The only thing that the government should be involved in is the police powers. We have to maintain a hospital, and then we're responsible for education, right? I am a student and mentee of a great mentor, the late Bob Klitsky. And he always, preached minimal government. Government should not be bloated. It should not be, we shouldn't have to kill our tax base to pay for people that are not providing us service. And so we should have a lean, mean government, right? And they also need to stay out of our personal lives, right? They shouldn't be legislating, how big your soda can be at the restaurant, right? I mean, if you want to, eat 3 plates of Jeff's red rice, because he's the only one authorized to use that word, red rice, right? He was blessed off by the late Bob Klitsky that he can use red rice, right? Everyone else, you're not authorized to use that term red rice because it's orange, right? But Jeff, if you want real red rice, you got to come to Jeff's. And if you want to eat 3 plates of of Jeff's red rice, then the government shouldn't tell you you can't do that.
And just a quick mention also, Jeff, real quick. So there's folks writing in right now. They're bouncing between two watch parties, the MMA and the show. they're going between the show and the, so that's a great thing. They're actually having watch parties. And John Savares, he sent me, he's watching right now. They're saying to have a watch party. So thank you for always tuning in.
He's getting. Do we have other questions? People out there that are chiming in.
Yes. So we actually have a lot of comments in the feed. So we'll start with Johnny Utah. He says, of course, he says it is the court. Unfortunately, guys,
Dun, dun,
as
dun.
you said, and it's Guam. It's Johnny says it's the governor.
Oh, Johnny.
Dave Duenas says
Good.
weed out the drug user in our government mandatory testing and funding to ensure its effectiveness. There's actually a whole slew of comments, and you guys can continue.
Nothing from Peter Santos?
Peter Santos.
Really? No Pete Santos in the feed?
Oh,
Yeah, that would be the fake one.
Unfortunately, you're here, so you can't comment out. But
Well, he
last
is. He's
week,
writing away.
He
He's
did say Biba, so.
Yeah.
Earlier when the previous guest, and oh, by the way, just real quick, you know, I did mention earlier Mess Tomorrow. I don't really celebrate Mess Tomorrow because I just live it all year. I don't need a date. I don't need a day to celebrate that I'm tomorrow. I am 365 days a year, I'm tomorrow. Biba tomorrow forever. Not week or month or year, it's forever.
And could you just mention a little bit about this wonderful product that you have here? It just says Santos.
So I was in 7th grade, I was 12 years old, and I was late to sign up for my electives. And one of the only electives that was left was woodshop. And I fell in love as a 12-year-old, you know, making things with my hands. And so from 12 all the way until 12th grade, or from 7th grade all the way to 12th grade, I made sure to take woodshop every year. And so I have been an avid woodworker since I was 12 years old.
And I appreciate the ones that you gave me.
Yeah, Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I hope he doesn't mind, but I mean, Peter sometimes can be found over there at the Dedito Flea Market.
Yes.
And you can meet with him, talk to him, and also see some of his products. Like, I think you even had a Sinahi. Do you make Sinahis as well?
I used to, I don't anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I stick with the wood.
But you make those baskets for the
Plateware, for the gubernatorial
plate,
candidates, the teams.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
I made
Very
one
nice.
for each of them.
Yeah, those are really cool. I'll be ordering. I know I spoke to you. But let's move from migration. We're talking about migration of Chamorro diaspora inwards. But we see more of it going outwards, and we see other inward migration, and that also has been on the political spectrum recently. You know, the migration and what we do with the troublemakers in the community that's not originally from here. Share your thoughts on that. How do you see this whole thing play out? Because of course there is a lot of people who are pro. And who are against certain dealings with the abusers of law and order, right? So share, how do you feel about that?
So first of all, people of all races commit crime, right? What's different is what tools we have to be able to address that based on their status, right? If they're a non-citizen, and it could be a non-citizen from Philippines, you know, it could be a non-citizen
Bulgaria.
from anywhere, right? Yeah. That gives a different set of tools that the government of Guam can deal with, right? Mostly, it's supposed to be the governor's office that does things to get the ball rolling in partnership with the federal government to get a real, actual deportation. There's a program right now that isn't actually deportation. It's misnamed, because what the program does, and some of the judges have been pushing back against this, it boots someone out based on a contract that they sign. But they can go into other U.S. jurisdictions, right? And they have. And if they come back to Guam, then that's when they might face consequences.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So technically, it's not the deportation we understand in the federal
Federal
little.
government,
Yes, yes, I
yes.
understand that. It's technically something like a plea agreement, right?
Right. Well,
Right.
it's basically exile from Guam.
Right.
You're being exiled from Guam.
Right, but there was someone that actually tried to come back just
Correct.
recently. So
They
I've
changed their
heard,
name.
I've heard of stories. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I said that.
Yeah.
I not said that. I predicted that was going to happen.
Right, but
Right.
what's interesting is this: don't we fingerprint everyone?
Yeah, there's these things. There's something called biometrics, right? Aside from carrying a passport or a driver's license, you can do an eye scan. Even DNA, right? You can. Those are, that's what's.
No, I go through the process every time I fly out and come in, so I'm familiar with that. And I'm like, even there was a funny commentary online when I was reading the news about the guy that tried to come back and hey, dummy, they're taking your fingerprints. So
Yeah.
I mean, but we have to deal with that somehow. And of course, I feel for all the mothers of rape young women and children
Right.
that we're dealing with some real monsters out there. And as a mother, again, I'm sharing my perspective here. Of course, I don't want this type of monster to be anywhere near my
Right.
child within like 10, 20-mile radius.
And I'm personally, I do want people to get deported because, again, this is all about this big, huge contract between the United States and other countries, right? And so we'll let your citizens come here, live here, work here, whatever, vacation here. Because sometimes it's someone who's here on vacation that commits a crime, right? But when that happens, right, you got to take them back. That's the overall concept, right? And I am for that, but, and it's just based on their status, right? Because we have all kinds of criminals. But if you're not a U.S. citizen and you commit a heinous crime, go back to where you came from. But we got to do it right.
So
That's my point.
What is the right process to you?
We already saw it with Governor Cove when he used to do it. He would so the U.S. immigration will not send someone, will not deport someone unless they've completed their term. They have to suffer first in our
I see.
jails. And so what happens, or what Governor Cove was doing is he was commuting their sentences so that now they don't have anything left to serve. And so now they're free to be booted out. That's the way it's supposed to work.
I see. Okay.
What's working now? What isn't working now?
So this program that's going on is they're saying, you have 5 years left on your plea, we'll suspend that, and you go to your country. But that's not under the auspices of the federal government. So they can go to California if they want. They can go to, Puerto Rico if they want. So it's exile from Guam. That's what it is. It's not deportation.
But it's like letting them to go freely, anywhere they want.
All we want is to get rid of it. Okay?
Right,
Technically.
that's one point, right?
Yeah.
But we also don't want them to come back to any part of the United States.
Yeah, that's what the opposers of the practice are saying, and I've heard from Jordan Paloon, who's actually saying exactly that we can't think like that. That was his kind of. I'm paraphrasing, but we can't think like that. We're going to let you go, and then we're going to let you go somewhere else, and you
Yeah.
can hurt more people.
Well, there's 4 purposes for
Right.
punishment, right? One is incapacitation, meaning you take them out of society, you lock them up.
Right.
Okay. 2 is retribution, right? That's punishing them because they deserve to be punished, right? 3 is rehabilitation, right? And the 4th one is it's just those 3. But anyways, when we send these people away, they're not getting retribution. We're not punishing them.
Right.
Right. We're
No, I agree. I agree.
I mean, so can we that's not the right word. Rehabilitate. I was going to say repurpose, but that was just because I was utilization of furniture the other day, and like for example, so when we look at the islands, when we look at Rota, when we look at Tinian, these islands, there's a mass exodus. In Rota, I think we're down to almost 1,400 people left on the island. Everybody's looking for opportunities, but we have a lot of they have a lot of land. They could definitely do farming, a lot of manufacturing, whether it's furniture, repurposing, multiple things. Why can't we look at a program where we can, the punishment or the payback would be put them to work, put them in farms, put them to go out there and do the things that nobody
Yes,
wants
and
to do.
there are many people who are lower level security, and actually that's being done. If you go out and see the work gangs, I see them all the time. They're out there bush cutting, they're out there doing things. Those are the lower level security guys. But the hardened criminals, those guys that have to stay at post 6, right? Those are the ones that are one person to a jail, or one person to a cell, and they're not to be, those are the problems that we're trying to deal with.
Can I just say that, we are struggling with this, and again, spending a lot of our time talking about these very few troublemakers who hurt families, hurt individuals, hurt property. And we're talking about it as if it's our responsibility to fix them. They came here, though, under a treaty that gave them an opportunity. It wasn't a promise, but merely an opportunity that they then, essentially disrespected and destroyed. And so that opportunity should be taken away from them by their own government, because again, they represent in many ways the Micronesian people, the people from Truk, the people from Pohnpei. When they come here and commit a crime, they're coming here as a citizen of the Federated States of Micronesia or one of the Micronesian islands, and that citizen then is committing a crime and an affront to the people of Guam. You, as the Attorney General of Guam, the Chief Law Officer of Guam, have some, I would argue, some responsibility to enforcing the law and the therefore mitigation of future threats by interacting directly with the Chukis government for the removal of their person. They don't have to get off scot-free. If our idea is that they need to be punished, that punishment can be meted out by their own government. But I would argue for many of them, just going home is punishment because they didn't want to be there in the first place, and they've already caused dishonor to their own people. So there's a good likelihood that they're going to get their asses kicked. But it is for, I think, particularly the governor of Guam, but certainly maybe our elected attorney general who has powers and responsibilities all of your own. So what would you do as Attorney General of Guam to try to put this problem to maybe a much more balanced solution? Because we're wasting a hell of a lot of time doing this, and I haven't gotten a phone call from the Truk governor to say I'm sorry, and I haven't seen the FSM president give us any money to pay for their plane tickets, right? So that's where I'll say fucking, because the people of Guam are paying for those fucking plane tickets.
Right, that's true. So anyways,
we can send them on a boat.
We are not able to liaise Gov Guam level to their level because we'd have to go through Department of State. But that doesn't mean we can't communicate, right? Officially liaise, we cannot. But we can, and I love saying this, right? We can, there are many different ways to skin a cat. But the real question is, why are we skinning cats? But anyways, there's other approaches.
You're from Agat.
Yeah, there's other approaches that we can take, right? And like you said, it's about that communication. But going back to sending folks back to their place of origin.
To their president, to their governor.
Right. Some of them came here as children and have no fathom of what it's like over there.
I don't care.
Yeah, but I'm just
They send their parents back with them.
Right.
Because they both violated it.
But I'm leading to something else. Something Angel Santos told me, right? He's like, this program, it's gonna have growing pains at the beginning, but the ultimate goal from the United States is that they're gonna come here and they're gonna have children, and then in a few generations, none of them are gonna be foreigners. They're all gonna be U.S. citizens, right? We're not there yet, but that is the ultimate goal. So eventually this problem is going to not become a problem just by matter of course, because eventually all those who are here that are not citizens are gonna die, and then those who are here are all gonna be citizens. So this is a problem we're facing today, but in a generation or two, it's going to be a different problem.
All right, but you're not off the hook because it's
I know.
Now. And there was a time when Palauans and Chamorros would always get into it, right? Time has passed and that doesn't happen anymore.
Right, but to answer your question is we just got to go back to that same model that Eddie Calvo did, right?
Where the governor does it?
Yeah, so he's the...
You're putting yourself off the hook?
No. The governor, right? It's what is the governor's priority? In the military, we always ask, what's the commander's priorities,
Her
right?
priority
Right.
is to go to Taiwan and try to create a sister city.
I can't speak for her, but
You were just trying to give her the responsibility. I'm going to
Right.
go back.
No, I can't speak-
Legal
yeah.
officer of the people of Guam.
Correct.
They're being affected. The laws are
But
being violated.
another thing that the great Bob Kliski used to always say is we've got to stay in our lanes, right? There are times when we can try to influence other lanes, but at the end of the day, if you go into some other lane, you're impotent. You can't do what a legislator does. You can't do what a judge does. You can't do what the governor does. And there are lanes that we have to stay within, and we have to work within our lane, and we can try to influence the other lanes.
That was well
right?
played.
Yeah.
This man is
He's
brilliant.
an attorney.
He is very good.
So he's an attorney.
Can we
So
play the game now?
Yeah, I
he
think
wants to
we're-
wag you, brother.
Well, we have a few questions and then we can run to the game. Doc was like, no, I want to play the game now, but we have the questions.
He's a gambler.
Yeah.
Casinos for Guam. No, just kidding. No, I'm anti-gambling. I'm anti-abortion.
Oh, okay.
You know, we never got to those questions, but
no,
yeah.
you're AG,
Yeah, we
but
didn't ask you, yeah.
those
You're not
are
running for governor, buddy.
those are for legislation.
Yeah.
Like
Correct.
Well,
So-
can you get rid of these game rooms when you become the AG? Because to me, that is the worst pit of gambling.
Okay, so
You
here's
know,
an
some of us like to gamble. We
Here's
have to
an
go to
example.
Saipan.
Here's an example of being able to do something that's not totally in your lane, right? So in order to get rid of those, you got to change the legislation, right? But if I work with the chief of police, we can park police cars right there in the front of every one of those.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Viva, Mr. Mo.
That's how you. That's how you work it.
Ungan.
The ones that don't work?
No.
Yes! Yes! Just park, yes! All the abandoned vehicles, right there!
Why don't you
We paint them.
Why don't you see what you're really thinking?
repurpose.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have a question?
Yeah, we have several questions. Okay, the first question is, what is your position on AI and the concept of preventative law?
Okay. So.
Wow.
That needs to be formulated a little bit or fleshed out a little bit. But if I can respond to what I think they're saying, right? This is not Minority Report.
Yeah. So what do you think about precognition? And
Right.
that
No.
aspect?
But here's what I told Doc when we had a meeting a few weeks ago, that Chamorros are always the first in everything, right? We've been using AI, I can remember since the 70s and 80s. You know why? I came home from school and my grandma said, hey, I told you to take out the trash. How come the trash is not there? So that's, we've been using.
I a day?
Yeah, I a day. And then I know.
I a day?
I know, right? So anyways, so we're seeing a lot of problems. Right now, I just read an article this morning, a Department of Justice attorney was using AI for his legal briefs and allowed phantom citations and he's going to get it. This is the Department of Justice. This is the government, the highest level of government that's using AI in a negligent way. And so that's problematic.
Yeah, we led the way on that, though. We had attorneys here doing that and getting caught.
Oh, yeah.
AI a day.
And that is still something that's going to be, the punishment is still being contemplated for that.
But you also touched on real quick on GPD. And I was actually having a good conversation with some of the officers, and the administrative part takes away from them doing their job. And when you get bogged down because there are less 120 police officers on the beat, and you're bogged down with administrative stuff, they're not out there doing what they're supposed to do. They're back typing and So I think AI has a role, especially in GPD, being able to create the reports, very standardized, and being able to push through some of the issues that you're having right now.
Right.
Think AI
I used to write my reports, and then we went to the typewriter, and then I know in some jurisdictions in the States, because some of my former GPD colleagues are working out in the States, right? You can call the dispatcher and talk to them and tell them a narrative, and then they'll be the ones to prepare.
Well,
But we can do that with software now.
I have seen many things happen around me on Guam where a crime was committed, the police show up, this is for an accident or any other thing, well, an accident has a form, but like something got stolen or home invasion, they're writing everything on a little piece of paper, making notes. There should be a form that you could use an AI type, system, because they're missing a lot of stuff.
Right.
You know, when my house was invaded and all that stuff, I'm like, how come I have to keep repeating this? You know, well,
And that's where
they
body
wrote it on a
cams
little
also,
pad of paper.
yeah,
You know,
that's where body cams also would help, right? Not only does it keep the police honest, and it keeps even the criminals honest, right? Because right now we're in a trial where we're fighting about what was said during a police interrogation. If you had body cam, there's no fight.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
fight. No, absolutely. Like we use today the cameras in your vehicle to fight, traffic violation. Someone hits you, you have the proof like that. That's the guy's fault. So it's transparency, Plus, it makes it much easier probably later on to write that report.
Right.
But it protects both sides, and
It's
so
just
we
another form
don't.
of
Yeah.
note taking, but it's much more advanced.
Yeah, I agree. And where are we on that one? I think we had a legislation that was placed in.
So what had happened is they didn't follow the rules to implement the program. It has to have those 3 public hearings. And so they just finished the public hearings. And so now it was really form over substance. They just didn't follow the steps. And so now that the steps have been followed, they can roll it out again. So it's just a matter of time.
Andrea, we might be running out of time. Do you?
Yes.
Any more?
Dave Dwight asked some questions, but you've already answered it in terms of deportation.
Mhm.
And then the final question is, what hard decision will you make that others who make it the job would you do that people normally avoid doing in your job or the elected position? Right? Apologies.
Right. So there's going to be hard decisions every day. And whoever is in that job needs to have experience, a good temperament, and needs to be able to look at the situation honestly, and also get smart people around them. No one person knows all the answers, and the wisest person believes that they're the dumbest person in the room, right?
I always feel that way.
So you're very wise.
So Benny Roslin, he says, good luck to all AGs running for office. Peter Santos is already 2 steps ahead because he completed training boot camp. He ran many miles, and he's in Army, the rank of Major.
Hooah. Yeah, I did a 100-mile ruck march twice. That shows that I'm not so smart.
Especially since he was the attorney. I don't think he was required to do that, were you?
I wasn't an attorney at the time.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, then he was.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have a lot of comments. You can go back and read it. So
Yes,
it's
I will.
warrior. And you're also being accused of being overly democratic. So.
What?
Oh, I'm conservative.
He was
I'm conservative.
Yeah.
They think I'm a liberal. I am actually fiscally conservative. I love the Constitution.
You were displaying more of our libertarian values right there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I do have, I don't have any tattoos on my arms because I exercise the right to bear arms.
Ooh.
Yes.
An arm bear.
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
No, I have a concealed permit. I can't show it to you because it's concealed.
But
I have only open carry, but that's enough.
He says his hobby is to take little phrases and research them.
Yeah.
But I have a nice sign in front of my house because that's the law, right? And it says that we don't call the police.
Oh, I have the same sign.
Yeah, we'll shoot you ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was that? To be taken? No. Carried away and carried. What was that sign that you used
If
to?
you get carried away, you will
be carried away.
Something
You'll
like
get carried
you'll
away.
get
The beatings will stop.
I
until
wrote
the
that in
morale
1979.
Correct.
Oh,
When
you
morale
remember?
improves. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. So the game that you're looking at, have you seen
I'm
it
familiar,
before?
yes.
Okay, good. So for everyone who's playing along with us, you can go to hafahour.com and vote. Give your +1 or -1. We want to shift the tide. We'll start from left to right.
Ooh.
And basically, you're just going to give your +1 or -1 to the candidates of your choice across all the electoral sections. But for today, it's just governor.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought
You
you were
said
moving
you
us
were
along.
moving, right?
Yeah. I thought you were moving us along.
We'll be here forever.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that
Let's start with you, Steph.
All right, so my +1 this week, folks, I'm actually giving it to the Blas Ocala team because there was a poll that showed them moving up. So we're seeing better results in their campaign, and they're not really campaigning as much. So that's very interesting. And then -1, I'm going to be so redundant, really. But what is happening? Do you guys know
Marcel.
what is happening?
Well, you know, we need to bring him on the show so he can
Yeah,
explain
you
it.
better give him a call.
Yeah, I will. Hey, Marcel, give us
Say,
a call.
Jeff
We'd love
wants to
have you on.
talk to you. We're
Yes,
going to find you a lieutenant. If that's
Come
what
on
it
down
takes,
today.
you know.
Yeah, we probably have somebody in the bar that wants to be your lieutenant governor.
There you go.
Okay, so for my -1, I'm actually going with something that you just finished with. It's actually Senator Blas and Mary Okada because I haven't seen anything from them. So their poll numbers may be going up, but if you see the other side, I mean, they're, on the Democrat side, they're being very aggressive. They're going out, the caravans. I mean, they're show of force. So this is a -1. And on the flip side, my +1 for this week is Josh and Tina. And the reason being is because I'm all things about infrastructure. And I think that if we want to be able to get more visitors to come here, we need to make sure that we have the lift capacity to get them here. And I know the Lieutenant Governor right now is working on trying to get more flights from a certain destination. So infrastructure is huge. We need it. That's what we need.
We'll wait for you, that's okay. Doc, go ahead.
So my +1 today is Josh. So Josh and Tina did an amazing job organizing their campaign. I believe it was last Sunday, right? Power and the enthusiasm that local politics the afternoon, because when I was driving back from the show last week, Jonah, I'd never seen a traffic jam in Jonah that long before. And then I wound up in Tamuning, and there was an even longer one going up to Dedido. So again, kudos to the organizers of the Josh and Tina campaign, because that's obviously at the grassroots level, but the institutional level. But your rally, your troops, very powerful statement. For anybody who's wondering if politics on what matters, just those people, a lot of them showed up on Sunday. My -1, I apologize to my captain, but it's going to be to the team of Charlie and they've still not picked up their packet, much less get any signatures. I love to sign their thing. What do you say, Charlie?
Oh, it's fair. It's fair enough. I mean, see, it's right. Yeah.
So enough said. We're going to pass on Marcel and Charlie. Thanks, Doc. We're on film here.
Okay. +1 is for Charlie and Jeff. They are just hanging back, independent. They're not out there blowing horns, trying to fake everybody out. They're just going to try to organize what's going to fit. And my -1, Josh and me, because the motor. Oh, you didn't like that. So last week, showing you with all those cars in Jones. Yes. Then I decided I'm not going to go through it again here. No, yeah. I said I'm not going to go through again here because they're headquarters. I want to get messed with that. This is very good. Might be some massive. Yeah, I don't believe it's
a Mexican thing, I think, yeah? Isn't it? No. The cars came from Detroit. No, I don't mean that. I mean, this whole rally and the show and the BS. It's a cars. Yeah. I just feel that I want to see these candidates come into the show. Right? Only or just last week. Just wait till the general. I mean, this is a practice run. So yeah, you may not like it, but the fact of the matter, politics is the national sport of Guam, and game on.
So, the Attorney General's office is nonpartisan. It's non-political, right? So, my hat's off to all the candidates that are running, because if you have the gumption to go and put yourself out there, then kudos to you. And I will say this on the record, notwithstanding urban legend, I am not beholden to any one of these teams. As a matter of fact, I am cordial with all of them. I go to all their events, as do the other Attorney General candidates. And
They each get a box.
right, they did. And so the reason being is whoever wins, right, we're gonna have to work together.
Right.
We're gonna have to work together. And so but my plus one is to Charlie and Jeff, because Jeff, since before I was born, was on this island contributing to the island, right? And I've been here on some great events. And so just having him here present is a huge blessing to the island of Guam. And then Charlie is following in his footsteps, right? He's here on Guam. He worked at APL, and then now he's a new business owner. I've been to the establishment. He closed at 8, but we didn't leave till 12. Remember that? We made you guys stay till midnight.
Dance for
Yeah, he loves it when you do that.
But I like it. I mean, I appreciate Charlie so much that I gave him a grand opening gift, a big, huge wall plaque.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Because whoever, wants to contribute to the island, we need to support each other. We need to, patronize each other, and it's just got to be all good vibes.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You got to go negative.
So Charlie, how's your business going?
You don't have to go negative.
No negative.
Sorry.
Let's grab it.
I was telling Bisha,
Don't grab
yeah, just give it to me instead of me leaning. Because
It's on tape.
it's I'd rather do that than lean over towards Doc. But yeah, no, that's fine. It's great support from the community, and we've had running groups come through after their evening runs. We've had a lot of folks throughout the island come over and just check it out. They've heard it through social media. And one of the things that we're getting ready this week is for the grand opening, right? So we haven't had the grand openings coming up on March 14th. We're gonna have outdoor beer garden, bands, DJs. This weekend on Saturday, we did the first silent wake up. So it was a silent disco. We had a DJ at 9 a.m. If you came in, you put on the headphones, you were jamming, and people that were coming into the coffee shop because it was that early didn't know what was going on. And so it was just a like Peter said, it's just that we want to be able to create that good vibe, similar to how you come down here. Great food, just a great vibe, and that's what we want to create up north. And we want to be able to continue. One of the things that we're doing is continuing to look at the cost. We definitely want to keep it at a price point where it's really acceptable to everybody. But it's hard, Jeff. I will tell you, it's hard. And
only Jesus had prophets.
yes.
So good vibes all around. DJ, cue the music.
Yeah, because the song we're about to dance. Okay?
Everybody dance. Dance with your monkey. What was that? Saturday Night Live? Dance monkeys. See.
And before we do that, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they help you in your campaign?
I have a Facebook page, Peter J. Santos for Attorney General of Guam 2026. I also, you'll see me all around the island. You'll see me at all the events. I go to majority of the fundraisers. Unfortunately, last week there was 4 fundraisers in one night, you know, and so I only made it to 3 out of the 4. But anyways, I'm out and about in town.
Okay, all right. Now we're about to play the song. You guys can dance out to it and wave. I'll let you know when it's ready.
Well, you guys are going to learn why I was called Peter Two Thumbs.
Oh, you give us a new step?
Welcome to Hafa Hour, 1 month filter. Ahoy!
Dan.
Study all the moves and then probably like put it together.
Oh, for Agat Guam. Yeah, that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map. Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our start up loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Leaning close, let the real talk run. How good not to two months. Everybody has one. No wish on this ship. No fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth. Watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for juice. Yeah, we deliver. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam unfiltered.
And dangerous.
They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Chalo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you. Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. I got ya to 2 months, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise.
We're trying to fine-tune the texture because we want it.
So we're dancing, we're talking.
Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam unfiltered. Everybody now, one filtered.
At least like a fruity thing, right?
White ladies preach when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief got out and Matapang strength we carry us arena in the tight scene. Guam sing along. Continue to continue.
One of my funny stories is when I was in
party.
former Republic of Georgia. They had a wedding and they invited us.
Oh, wow.
And so we got there and there was nothing but vegetables on the table. And I don't speak Georgian, right? So I
think we're done.
Where's the meat?
Yeah. So I was thinking, yeah, where's the meat?
You done?
And so
So we're talking, okay.
this little sedan rolls up and everyone starts clapping. They open the trunk and they pull a calf out of this sedan.
Was he alive?
And then the guy next to me goes, "We got meat 1 hour." 1 hour. And sure enough, later on, just like churrasco with those long,
Shish kebabs.
they came in and the meat was delicious.
Oh.
I was like, this guy was walking around an hour ago.
But he was in the back of a sedan?
And he was in the back of a sedan.
They do that with booty dogs here, some restaurants.
Well, you remember the old teriyaki, yakitori in East Aganis? Remember when they found cat skins in the back of the... And this is what they said. This is what the restaurant owner said. They said, no, we don't deny that we eat cat, but that's only for us. We don't serve the cat.
Yeah, that's not for you. Don't worry. That's for the
special. Yeah.
Special order.
But it's still the same knives and stuff that they're using. Yeah. So, yeah, they went out of business.
Yeah.
But that was the old yakitori.
They were a busy place, though.
They were until they found the cats. Remember, they were skinning cats.
Yes. That is one way to do it.
Yeah.
But why are we
Oh
skinning
man, I
cats?
have 2 cats and 2 dogs. 3 cats and 2 dogs.
Oh, that's a full. Wow.
Oh, we had more.
Where
but
we at?
Yeah, we have
And
to
we at?
keep some of them.
We're done? Oh, no, we're not done.
We're just.
Oh, that was just
Big game. Good game. Great game. This is just.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Yes. We're just. Sally, she's editing.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Can they hear us? They can
Oh,
hear us.
we're still live?
So like, share, subscribe. Come back next week. We have a great show.
Next week.
We're still working on it. It's a secret.
Yeah.
No, tell them so that actually. Well,
Pam Bondi. Well, we were going to bring Donald in, but I think he's busy. You know, we didn't talk at all about the war.
No, we did not.
Geez, okay. It'll be in
Well,
the
the only
after credits, end credits.
so talking about the books,
Yes,
that,
yes.
that we're selling here.
Yes.
The first torpedo fired since 1942 was fired against the Iranian
Yes.
vessel. The sub was the USS Minnesota, based here on Guam.
Are you serious?
My friend was the captain on the ship. Captain on the.
Did they sink it on Guam?
No,
I'm gonna take it over there.
they're based here.
Oh,
They're based. They're based here.
We have something like 9 nuclear subs based out of here, right?
Mhm.
Well, at least that's what they tell us. So, wow. So that's the USN
USSS.
SS Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Okay.
Based in Guam.
Wow.
Yes. So they're very good friend. I went to the change of command last year, and when I read that, I can't even imagine you being on the con, getting the note to fire away. 1942.
And that had to be blessed off by a JAG.
Yes.
Before they engage targets, you got to run it by the JAG.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they got to know whether it's a legitimate military target, and there's a formulation that they go through for that.
Okay, so you're telling me that in order for them to do that kind of their business, military business, which is almost like a split moment, right?
Right.
They have to contact an attorney.
Well, once they're actively in the fight, they can fight and they can defend always.
Yeah.
Right. But when they're going to do like a surprise attack or they're going to take out a bridge, they have to go run it through JAG first and say, is that a legitimate target, that bridge?
Okay, so but what's the difference between that and the Department of Public Works trying to wait for the Attorney General to sign off on building Simon Sanchez High School or to fix the electrical panel at GMH? What the heck is that all about, Pete?
That's the war of
Game of Thrones right there.
no, it's a different kind of war. It's a different kind of war that we're fighting.
On the air? That's part of the show.
We are at war with ourselves, honestly. We are at war with ourselves. We are our own worst problems, right?
Happy
Talking about
I'm talking about
the government.
the government of Guam.
Yes.
The government of
Thank
Guam
you,
is
government of Guam.
its own worst enemy.
Vince Ariola. Okay, we'll work on that.
Because it's not fair. We
Yes.
gotta always punch him.
No, we don't. I mean, Vince is a great guy.
And his name.
But we got
The week after we talked about something, he's announcing that he's going to do it. I mean, I think you're listening, right, Vince? Well, not the junker.
It didn't happen.
But I think it's fixing the potholes on Epau Road because they had been apparently trying to buy land.
We're out. Oh, wait.
Bye. Well, Vince, we'll give you a call. Come on in.
Yeah, Vince.
Honestly, I think next week is Sabrina Salas, but not tonight. But we'll make it official. And also Ron McNinch.
Yes, he comes from
My buddy.
15.
March 15th, Ron McNinch, Therese Salas Manson, Sabrina Salas Manson. Stay tuned.
I told Josh and Tina.
No, they bumped it to the week after, I think, so they're coming. So we will get. Time to go.
A few moments later.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And each story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
Welcome Welcome to Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Oh, for Agat Guam, here that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map, Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Leaning close, let the real talk run. Hagot to man, everybody has one. No whoosh on this ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy, sing it unfiltered. Guam sauce for true seeker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo, Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya tutumon, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Unfiltered. White ladies bridge when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gagao and Matapang, strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa Hour, Guam.